Thank you, Mr Mayor. The motion before Council this evening is self-explanatory, seeking as it does to highlight the importance of the George Carnall Leisure Centre to residents in the immediate vicinity. It's moved on behalf of residents who have contacted myself and also Kate Green MP to express concerns about the proposed closure and seeks to ask the Council to apply the pressure, any pressure that it can on the Community Interest Company and work with them to attempt to save that facility. It is a stated aspiration of this Council, Mr Mayor, to improve health and well-being for residents. We have Vision 2031, which the Council is working towards as a long-term strategy, and within that, one of the fundamental things that we seek to do is to leverage the assets that we have to improve health outcomes for residents. And it seems to me that it is absolutely right to be trying to leverage those assets, and closing one of those assets, I fail to see how that fits with this strategy and how we can possibly claim that that will improve health outcomes for residents in the Davy Hume area. There is an issue here also, Mr Mayor, about the overall leisure offer in the M41 area. You better than anyone will know that William Rowe has already closed, and by taking away George Carnall in just a few short months, the M41 area will have gone from 3 to 1 leisure facilities. And we're told that this will be okay because the Urmston site will expand. But I have to say that it seems to me that the Urmston site is not sufficient to expand, to encapsulate all of the services on offer at George Carnall. Simply the physical scope of that site is not sufficient for what would be required to capture all of those services, and therefore, as residents have told me repeatedly, we fear that those services will be lost. I had one mum contact me to say that her son had been doing fencing at George Carnall for 6 years. That is a fairly niche offer for a council to be delivering, and one that is currently offered at George Carnall for just £3.50 a session. Basketball runs out of there, again, not a particularly common sport in this country and in this borough, and there are a number of other sports on offer there that we do fear may not make the cut when condensed into Urmston. I'd also like to raise an issue about squash that was brought to me by a resident who sent me a message last week. There are currently 4 squash courts at George Carnall, none at Urmston. The one at Stretford has been converted into a spinning studio. Now, as you can see, I am not a spinner myself, Mr Mayor, but I imagine that there would be physical barriers in the shape of spinning bicycles or whatever they call them that would prevent squash taking place there. That leaves you with 1 court at Sale or a 5-mile-plus hike to Altrincham to play squash in a Trafford leisure centre. So we're talking about services that will be potentially lost forever in that part of the borough, and the motion simply seeks to make clear our opposition as a councillor to that closure and asks that the Council and the Executive works with the Community Interest Company to try and save this facility. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Weston. Is there a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Acton.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I actually live very close to the George Carnall Centre, and it's been a very important fixture and facility, well-used facility in the area for many, many years. It did strike me that George H. Carnall and William Rowe were ex-Conservative councillors, and obviously their names will be gone from those provisions. But I talked to many people in the area, and I can actually tell you very clearly that residents in the community are absolutely appalled with the proposal to close this leisure centre. And it's clear to me that residents are sick and tired of closures and cuts of lots and lots of facilities within the whole of Trafford, but particularly in the area that we're talking about today. And I think the leader said earlier on that we're a party of protest. Actually, we are the official opposition party, and when we see Conservatives destroying, those services that are really important to the community, we will oppose those, and I think it's important to do so. I think the George Carnall Centre is a really valued asset, and many residents are very, very angry at this proposal. The centre provides a wide range of services, many of which are not routinely available in other centres. And many people have said to me that the consultation has been poor, and they feel that their voices are not being heard by the controlling Conservative group. And if they are being heard, they're actually being ignored. I believe that the Council should make it clear tonight its opposition to the proposed closure of George Carnall Leisure Centre, and undertakes to revisit this proposal with Trafford Leisure CIC with a view to keeping the facility open. This is something that we have the power as a council to do, and we should do it. And I second the motion and hope that the council supports it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Acton.